Hey everyone, I'm Patrick Marlett, your local game guy, here to teach you how to play One Piece card game from the perspective of a Magic player. One Piece card game is intended for 1v1, though there are multiplayer modes, with each deck consisting of 1 leader, 50 cards, and 10 Dawn, your mana source for this game. Your leader is a lot like a commander. It's accessible from the start of the game, but unlike Commander, it always starts in play and is the victory condition for the game. Knock out the opposing leader. You'll do so by reducing the leader's life total to 0 and hitting them for one final blow. Or, less dramatically, a player can lose should they deck themselves or run out of cards. Each leader features a singular power value at the top right, typically 5,000, next to an attribute type, a life total indicated at the bottom right, a subtyping just under the leader's name, and lastly an ability that usually influences both how the deck will be constructed and played. So again, not too dissimilar to Commander. Oh, and most importantly, the leader you choose to play dictates the colors in which you can play. That's right, we have color identity. This can be found at the bottom left of each leader card within the hexagonal pattern, each side representing a different color. And some leaders actually feature more than one color, meaning you can construct in multiple. There are 4 card types in One Piece card game: leader, character, event, and stage. Similarly to leader cards, characters have an attack value, also next to an attribute type, a subtyping under their name, and an effect box, often with but sometimes without an effect. 2 notable differences are the cost featured at the top left and the counter symbol and value seen on some characters, featured left of their portrait. These essentially act as instant speed combat tricks, but more on that later. It's important to note you can cast as many characters as you like, but you can only have up to 5 in play at any time. If you cast a 6th, you must first remove one from the battlefield, or character area, to the graveyard, called trash here, before proceeding. Like characters, events feature a cost, name, and subtyping in all the same spots you'd expect, but are one-time effects that can only be played at certain times as indicated on the card. Again, there's that counter symbol on guard point, but you'll also notice main on Gum Gum Jet Pistol. Both these cards also feature a trigger effect. When you take life in this game, there's an opportunity to play these effects, but we'll touch on that later. Once we cover turn order, I promise it all makes sense. Our last card type is stage. Like our leader that exists in the leader area, there is a stage area to play stages into. You may only have one in play at a time, and just like characters, if you were to play out another stage, you'll first remove the previous from your stage area. Stages feature a cost, name, subtype, and of course, effect. Typically, these will read Activate Main, which, like a sorcery, means you can only do it on your turn. Beyond resting or tapping the card for its effect, you may see an additional activation cost before the colon. A number in white means you need to rest or tap the specified number of Dawn in addition to tapping it, or it could ask you to trash or discard a card as part of its activation cost. And with card features, types, and basics to deck construction covered, let's talk setup. Setup involves shuffling your deck and placing it aside, placing your Dawn deck adjacent the cost area, putting your leader face up in the leader area, generally center table, and deciding player order with either rock, paper, scissors as recommended by the official One Piece card game manual, or rolling dice. High or low, take your pick. Once turn order is determined, draw 5 cards. Each player may then decide whether to keep or reshuffle the 5 cards drawn back into their decks and draw 5 more. The player going first elects to do so before the second player. If you do reshuffle the 5 cards you draw next, you must keep, and both players then proceed to draw the designated number of life cards as set by their leader and place them into their life area, after which the player going first starts the game. Alright, we know the victory conditions, we've seen the cards, we know the setup for a 2-person game, now let's play. One Piece card game has 5 main phases. The refresh phase, like the untap step, is where players untap all their rested Dawn cards and set them as active in the cost area, right where you keep your lands. During this phase, you'll also set any leader, character, or stage cards as active. The draw phase, where you'll draw 1 card before proceeding. However, the player going first will not draw on their starting turn. The Dawn phase, where you'll place 2 Dawn cards from your Dawn deck into your cost area, set as active. Provided you only have 1 Dawn card left, you'll place that amongst your mana sources instead. And provided you're on the play, the player going first only places 1 Dawn card into their cost area to begin with. The main phase is where all the good stuff happens. You can play cards to include characters, stages, and activate main events. Activate any card effects to include characters just played or your leader. Give Dawn cards, which as the card suggests increases a leader or character's power by 1,000. And lastly, battle, all of which can be handled in any order. Lastly, we have the none too thrilling end phase, where any end of your turn and similar effects take place. Then, play passes to your opponent. But let's backtrack a bit. What is battle, you ask? Well, it's what makes One Piece card games so thrilling to play, and not too unlike Magic the Gathering, it's layered, but not quite as much. Battle flow takes place in 5 steps: attack declaration, block step, counter step, damage step, and end of battle step. During the declare attacker step, you may attack with any active leader or character that has been in play since the last turn, to include your opponents. Otherwise, they're summoning sick. Some characters feature the rush effect. That works exactly like the keyword haste, allowing them to attack on the turn in which they are played. You may always attack the opposing leader, and can also attack any rested or tapped opposing characters. During this step, any when attacking effects or effects that trigger from a leader or character attacking will trigger and resolve here. The blocker step allows the player being attacked the opportunity to activate any characters with the blocker effect. Doing so causes said character to rest, and as you imagine, redirects the oncoming attack to them. You may use the blocker effect even if the character with said effect was just played. The counter step is where interaction comes into play. Remember the counter symbol as seen on some characters and events? You may trash or discard any characters from your hand to increase the power of the leader, character, or blocker being attacked by the value dictated on the trashed card. In this instance, 2000 by Suru. You may also pay the requisite Dawn to trash or discard any events with the counter effect from your hand during this step for their ability. You may activate any counter effects in any order as many times as you'd like. During the damage step, compare the power of the attacking and defending cards. The attacking card wins the exchange provided the power meets or exceeds the defending card's power. This will lead to either the opposing leader taking 1 damage and retrieving a life card from their life area. If said leader has 0 life cards remaining, the attacking player wins the game, or the opposing character gets KO'd. However, if the attacking card's power is less than the defending card, nothing happens. Better luck next time, try again. When the opposing leader is damaged, they'll go to take a card from their life area and place it into their hand. However, if the card they pull into their hand has a triggered effect, they may elect to reveal said trigger effect instead of adding it to their hand, activating the ability of said card. Though you can choose not to activate a trigger effect just as well. Note also that your leader may take 2 or more damage on attack, by effects such as double attack, that deals 2 damage to leaders when successful. Triggers will resolve as usual, and you'll have the potential opportunity to use more than one. However, if a card with Banish successfully attacks your leader, the card from your life area is trashed or placed in your graveyard instead, regardless of whether it has a trigger or not. Lastly, the end of battle step allows for any effects that activate at end of battle to take place. Then all effects applied during said battle are negated. One Piece card game is a fun and excellent strategy game you can learn to play in a single sitting, but will take several to master. It's easily one of the best TCGs to come out in recent date, and furthermore, if you're a fan of One Piece, you'll find a lot here. I hope this guide helps you get started as a newer player or someone looking to get into your first pre-release. When I began this game, I had so many questions that I needed to resolve before I felt confident on my One Piece journey, and now I can say I am extremely happy playing and collecting this game. Again, I'm Patrick Marlett, your local game guy, and for more news and updates on your favorite TCGs, subscribe to LGG, and feel free to send this video along to the next gamer with a like. Thank you so much.